It all started with a simple meeting. Maria thought she was finally being recognized for her hard work, her ideas, her late nights, and extra hours. But the smile her boss gave her didn't reach his eyes. In a moment, everything she believed about fairness and opportunity shattered. "Maybe you're just not a fit for this role," he said. Maria felt the words sink like stones in her chest. But what happened next would expose a truth most people ignore: the silent, everyday racism hiding in plain sight. Maria Lopez had been at Greystone Marketing for nearly 5 years. A hard-working creative strategist, she had consistently exceeded targets, earned glowing peer reviews, and quietly mentored new hires. She loved her team and believed in the company culture, a culture that promised opportunity, merit, and respect. She moved from a small town in Texas to pursue her career dreams, juggling long hours and personal sacrifices. On paper, Maria was the model employee, competent, dedicated, and ambitious. But beneath the polished office walls, subtle signs of bias were creeping in. Meetings where her ideas were dismissed, credit quietly given to others, and side comments that hinted at assumptions about her background. These were all things she brushed aside, convincing herself she was imagining it. Until one meeting changed everything. It was the day of the promotion discussion. Maria had worked tirelessly on a campaign that brought in millions in revenue. She prepared her presentation meticulously, anticipating tough questions and ready to demonstrate results. But as she entered her boss's office, the atmosphere felt different. Colder, heavier. Her boss smiled, then leaned back, hands steepled. "Maria," he began, "you've done good work, but we're thinking someone else might fit this leadership role better." Maria blinked. Her mind raced. She thought of every late night, every client call, every detail she had perfected. "Can I ask why?" she said. "I've delivered results consistently." He hesitated, choosing his words carefully. "Well, I think you understand how certain clients perceive leadership," he said, his tone almost casual. Maria felt her stomach drop. She knew exactly what he meant. Her Latina identity, her accent, the unspoken judgment that had shadowed her every move. Her heart pounded as he continued to talk in vague corporate jargon, phrases like cultural, fit, and team dynamics, code words she had heard before, words that masked prejudice in corporate speak. Her colleagues walked by, unaware of the moment that could change her career trajectory. Maria realized she was not just being passed over. She was being subtly told her identity made her less suitable. Shock turned into resolve. Maria left the office, her hands trembling. She pulled out her phone and recorded her reflections, documenting everything. The exact words, the tone, the implication. She realized she wasn't alone. Across the country, countless professionals faced this invisible barrier, told they weren't fit because of their race, gender, or background. Maria decided to confront it. She compiled emails, performance reviews, and project results, undeniable proof of her qualifications. When she finally requested a formal meeting with HR, she laid out her evidence and calmly explained how bias had influenced the promotion decision. The room grew silent. For the first time, the weight of invisible racism was made visible, undeniable, and real. HR launched an investigation. The company faced internal scrutiny, and Maria's courage inspired others to speak up. Within weeks, policies on promotion transparency and bias training were revised. Maria eventually received a leadership role she had rightfully earned, not just for herself, but as a precedent for others. She shared her story publicly, becoming an advocate for fair workplace practices. Her experience highlighted the subtle, often overlooked ways racism manifests in corporate spaces, how talent alone isn't always enough when implicit bias goes unchecked. Her story reminded everyone that speaking up isn't easy, but silence only perpetuates injustice. Maria's story forces a question every professional must face. How many brilliant minds are overlooked simply because of who they are? How many careers are quietly derailed by bias hiding behind polite words and corporate euphemisms? If you've ever faced similar injustice at work, don't stay silent. Share your experience. Comment below with your story or tag someone who needs to hear this. Because change begins when we refuse to accept racism as part of the system.